Alright, I should be back with you guys at this point. Sorry about that. Listen, if you've tuned in at any point during any of the streams with Results 1, you guys already know we tackle our obstacles, we keep on moving. So, where were we? We are westbound on 50, way out. So this is kind of the Webster area, and we're using the front dash camera right now of Results 1, streaming for you. And I'm not going to exaggerate much for you. All we've really seen, I say we, I've got photojournalist Paul with me here in the car, and we haven't seen too much. Now, waves of rain have come through, a few little wind gusts here, but nothing too severe just yet. And there's no complaining about that because, hey, none of us want to see this. Yes, we've talked about it a lot. We've been prepping for it for days. We are on air, online, on an app, but it's all to provide the information to you. Whether or not a storm hits your area, I wouldn't be mad if it didn't, right? So what do we got going on right now? There are no major road closures in the Central Florida area. But what are we going to see? We're going to start to see impacts when it comes to traffic control devices, our street lights. So let's talk about that. You hear me harp on it every single morning. If it is completely out, what are we supposed to do? We are going to treat that traffic light like a four-way stop. Guys, I cannot Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're here live inside here. I understand the signal keeps going in and out, but hey, we're in the middle of a storm. We're bringing to you quality information and content from a mobile vehicle. Things are going to happen. We're just going to roll with it. But right now, we're still out here. So I'm at, actually, the junction I'm north of Dade City, way obviously south of Ocala, west of Webster, right at the junction of State Road 50 and US 301. You hear me refer to 301 a lot because that's kind of a good detour road to get by if any major closures are out there. But what am I seeing out here right now? I can tell you right now, I am so proud of Central Florida drivers because we're not seeing a lot of people out here. And I know we're not in a very metro part of Central Florida. This is a predominantly rural community out on the western portions here. But even then, there's still some gas stations open, some little convenience stores we've seen while we're driving. And I can probably count 5-6 cars we've seen since coming out this way and then now headed back, which is a really good thing. Even though we don't have any curfews set within our area, you don't want to be out on the roadway. Roadway conditions are slick. Wind gusts can really catch you off guard. And then it's the tying up of resources. If you're coming out here merely to take some video, grab a few photos, to get a few likes on social media, and then get into a crash or an incident happens or you get stuck where you need emergency resources, you're really tying it up for someone who may encounter a serious issue throughout this storm. Plus, if the storm starts getting serious, you've got responders with you, you're really just putting everyone in a bad situation that could have been preventable if you would have kept yourself at home. So even if you're not seeing any heavy impacts, whether you're in Seminole County, Orange County, even Osceola right now, or Brevard, I saw on meteorologist Jonathan Kegis's live stream, he's talking about how portions of Seminole really not going to see too much, and he is really pinpointing into certain areas. We're not going to, on the eastern portions of Central Florida, you're not going to be very impacted. Now, is it going to be an ugly night? Absolutely. Should you be out and about in any of this? Absolutely not. So if it's not raining where you're at, let the dogs out. Hey, if you walk your cat, well, I don't know. People do weird things. So that's not weird. Don't send me an email. But you understand what I mean. So when out and about like this, what did we talk about just the other day? We talked about hydroplaning, how to recover from things like that. And the number one thing that I always give to you guys is step one in any major traffic incident or anything related to you handling the situation is to take that pause and to remain calm. Now, it's hard to tell someone to remain calm if your steering wheel's all over the place and your vehicle's going one, your mind's the other. I get it. But there are easy ways to recover from something like this. So real quick, before we start driving, continuing towards I-75, I'll give that to you because there are a lot of businesses still scheduled to be open tomorrow. A lot of cars will probably still be on the road first thing in the morning. We'll have a live newscast starting at 4:30 a.m. The whole crew, including us out here, and we've got reporters all across Central Florida. But there's going to be a lot of people on the road, so let's go through it real quick. You're out on the road, right? You're cruising down I-4, 417, wherever, and that speed, all of a sudden, you start to feel some looseness happen on the steering wheel. You're not sure what's going on. Well, I'll tell you, the tread on your vehicle and the roadway has now a barrier of water or a line of water between that and not allowing that traction to take place. So you're going to feel your vehicle almost glide. If your vehicle's starting to go right, I know this sounds crazy, but I want you to maintain positive control of your steering wheel, and I want you to turn slowly into where your vehicle's going. Man, you can hear that rain starting to come down in here. Slowly, and then get off of the accelerator. You're going to pump your brakes in a slow manner, and then you're going to feel those tires reconnect with the roadway. A lot of instructors or even safety manuals will be like, oh, then continue on. No, I'm going to tell you to take a break. you just had a freak out moment on the roadway, you were able to really recover because you were calm. Stay calm. Take a break, pull off the roadway, hang out on the shoulder, or a gas station. Find a store and just chill out for a little bit. So let's get going. See what's going on out here. I'll tell you what's going on. It's raining, but you know what I mean. So we're not seeing. I haven't seen. Man, Paul, I haven't seen one car where we're stopped here. I like that.
Yeah, it's quiet.
It is quiet. All right. So like I said, guys, we're westbound, West State Road 50, right here at the 301 interchange. We don't get out here very often. This is usually very rural, very industrial. There's a Circle K with semi truck parking spots. I've never seen one of those. There are troopers out and about. The entire state is currently on 12 off, 12 on hour shifts. So, meaning Alpha Bravo. They do this to provide full manpower coverage. So if anything happens, recoveries. You've heard the governor talk about strike teams. Well, Florida Highway Patrol also has strike teams. Last thing you're going to expect is a group of troopers rolling up to your rural neighborhood and cutting through your driveway and stuff so that you can get out. But they do that. They have equipment, trailers, response vehicles ready to rock and roll. Heck, right before I joined you guys here, the New Six family, during Hurricane Irma, we were in downtown Orlando as troopers cutting people out of their townhouses. I was there with you guys giving you the information on air, and then what do you know, 2 weeks later it became permanent. So I am super impressed with you guys. Hopefully maybe we'll see where the storm is moving closer to the 430, and we can move towards where we start to see some heavy traffic. But right now things are good. Let's talk about post-storm while I have you guys. This is going to clear up very quickly for us. When that sun comes up, it's going to look like it's really passing just a normal thunderstorm. I'm going to tell you guys it's not. Jonathan Kagas, Chief Meteorologist Tom Soros, Meteorologist Candace Campos, they have all talked about the debris and what these winds will do. The last storm, there were debris for days. We had piles on the side of the road. The good thing is there is no school tomorrow, so we won't have any school buses out on the road, at least in majority of our counties, and we won't have any students walking early by the bus stop. But what we are going to have is trash. We're going to have debris. What is tomorrow? Wednesday. For majority of us, we take our trash out on Wednesdays. So there could be an influx of that. Plus, like I was just saying, those branches. That's going to be the biggest pain, guys, to deal with first thing in the morning. You've got to be careful hitting the road. Where's that car going? Oh, okay.
Weird angle.
I was like, the way he pulled down, I was like, that was quick. And there's going to be a lot of people out there. So you have to make sure. If you are going to work, then okay. If you are not, it's not a time to go out and sightsee or see what your neighborhood looks like. Whatever it looked like yesterday, just pretend it's going to look like that in the morning and really wait for that kind of all clear. There's a I can't talk live this morning with you. A high probability that a majority of us will lose power to some extent. We've got to be prepared for that. And that's the thing, standing water. Sometimes you see it and it's going to happen real quick. You got to be ready for it. So we're here at the Withlacoochee State Trail, just to give you a little bit of a reference of where we're at, crossing over Kettering Road, west on State Road 50, and we're actually coming up on I-75. For some reason, I keep wanting to say I-95. Remember, if you're tuning in here, whether you're watching us on clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, or even on YouTube, you want to subscribe to these accounts. Anytime a new live stream is popping up, you want to set your phone or your app for those type of notifications so that we're all completely in the know at the exact same time, and you're not finding out delayed. If you have those notifications set, the second we go live, you are going to be able to get that information at the palm of your hand. Okay, a little humor. Okay, I'm going to bring a little humor into you guys. Waffle House is still open, y'all. It ain't that bad if Waffle House is still open. Just saying. That's like a Florida. You can judge a lot of things based off of Waffle House. How's the parking lot? Are all the letters lit up? In this case, this is just Waffle at this point. This one off to the right, all the neon signs are off, but they're open. So why are their lights blinking like that? Can you guys see that? See the strobes kind of like going off on top? Is it a short, you think?
Oh, the street lights.
Like they're floodlights, yeah. I think they're shorted out. But look, you got people walking from Taco Bell over to Waffle House. We're in good shape over here. But the rain is consistent, and there is some ponding taking place on the roadway. I am starting to actually see that. That's the first of the ponding that we've seen out here along any of our roadways. We got Florida Highway Patrol off to the left there underneath the overpass monitoring. A lot of what you're seeing when you're driving about, a lot of people will be like, well, what are they doing? Nothing right now. You've got road rangers sitting there. They're out away from their homes, away from their families, so that in case anything happens overnight or you need help, they could be right there. So if you're out and about, make sure you give them a thank you, especially firefighters, our EMTs, the road rangers, especially our road rangers. They're angels. They're really awesome. All right, guys, we are now back on the major highway. We are northbound I-75 right here at mile marker 301.5. About 15 or so minutes south of the Florida Turnpike interchange. And to be clear with you, can't see much out here. The rain is steady. It is consistent. I'm not picking up much wind from the vehicle, but then again, it's 1:21 in the morning. We're going to start to see it really pick up, at least within this area, western portions of Central Florida, over the next few hours. But when it comes to my department, the biggest thing I can harp on is keep yourself at home. If you do not need to go anywhere, it is not time to be like, oh, I want to go get a hot meal. Oh, I'm craving a Big Mac. Look, I'm craving a Big Mac too, but we got a job to do. Your job, stay home. Talk to your kids. Come up with some games. Make it interesting. But the second you leave your house in the middle of something like this, you are choosing, you heard me, choosing to put yourself at risk. Storms are unpredictable, debris is unpredictable, and these roadway conditions are by no means the best. So you've heard Chief Meteorologist Tom Soros say it over and over and over again. This storm will be historical, meaning we've never seen anything like this. I get so upset when people are like, oh, we got this, I know what's going on. Sorry, I got distracted. The way that the curve was in the road and that semi, when it turned, I thought it was losing control for a second. And I thought the semi was overturning. I was freaking out. I was like, oh, Paul, we got to get out. So, avoid any situation that may need a response. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, when the sun comes up, evaluate your situation before you hit the road. If you know anybody in the Big Bend area or anybody that is under any type of evacuation and they haven't left, you need to really get on the phone with them and do some convincing. You heard on some of the press conferences, 12 to 15-foot storm surges. Insane. We're going to slow our speed down a little bit here because the wind's picking up. 304.5 northbound I-75. So puts us right around Croom Riddle Road, way south here of the rest area, about a mile or so. See all the lights come up here in just a second. But you can see the rain. This is going to be the kind of consistent model. If you don't have a handy way of tracking the storm, our pinpoint weather app is pretty awesome. I'm not saying that because I work for News 6. I'm saying that because UCF did an unbiased study and showed our map was awesome. So make sure you have that so you can keep up to date. Look, guys, we're going to continue northbound on here. I'm sure we're going to pop in and out. Make sure you're keeping up with us and our meteorologists on News 6. They are there every 30 minutes giving you an update, whether it's Chief Meteorologist Tom Soros, Meteorologist Candace Campos, or anyone from our team there. But we will also have a complete newscast starting at 4:30, and if your area has a warning that deserves immediate attention, we will break into programming and notify you via a push alert. So make sure you have your app notifications turned on as well. We're going to keep heading north here. If you've got any questions, reach out to either me on Facebook or an email. Send them directly. If you have an opportunity to take any photos safely from within your home, not being outside on any of the storm stuff or any of the storm activity, make sure you pin it. Take that photo, pin it on our News 6 page so we can put it on air and really show what's going on from your perspective, our members of the community. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. It's getting a little windy out here. Find a little place to kind of hang out for a little bit. But thanks for tuning in with us. And please be safe, be smart, stay home. You know I say always wear your seatbelt at the end, but no need to because I just need you to stay on the couch and be safe. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll be back a little later.